We have 2 meetings left. We have a local planning agency meeting and then our regular City Commission meeting, September 5th, 2017. I'm going to ask the clerk for a roll call.
Mayor Weissman.
Here.
Vice Mayor Weinberg.
Here.
Commissioner Landman.
Here.
Commissioner Dr. Marks.
Here.
Commissioner Mizrahi.
Here.
Commissioner Narotsky.
Here.
Commissioner Shelley. Mr. Soroka.
Here.
Mr. Wolfen. You have a quorum.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask for a motion for approval of the minutes of June 14th, 2017.
Motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Landman. Can I have a second? Second made by Commissioner Shelley. A public hearing for motions recommending the adoption of the following ordinance. I'm going to ask the city attorney to read the ordinance being considered.
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance of the City of Aventura, Florida, amending Chapter 31, Land Development Regulations by creating Section 31-151, Uses Prohibited in All Zoning Districts of Article 7, Use Regulations of Chapter 31, Land Development Regulations, regulating prohibited uses generally and specifically prohibiting medical marijuana dispensaries, providing for severability, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I ask for a motion recommending the adoption of the ordinance? The motion made by Commissioner Mizrahi. Can I have a second? Second made by Commissioner Landman. I'm going to ask the city attorney to review this item.
Thank you, Mayor. Presently, our city code already provides that any use that is not listed in the comprehensive land development regulations as a permitted, special exception, or conditional use is prohibited. However, in light of the new state law that specifically states that if a city wishes to ban and prohibit medical marijuana dispensaries, it should do so by specific ordinance. This ordinance has been drafted as directed at a city commission meeting, I believe it was back in June, a workshop meeting. And this would serve to expressly provide that the medical marijuana dispensaries may not be located in the city. If the city did not adopt this ordinance, then the city would have to treat medical marijuana dispensaries the same way as it treats all drugstores and pharmacies. Of course, the adoption of this ordinance will not prevent persons with proper authority from having medical marijuana prescribed to them, delivered to their homes, or it will not prohibit them from purchasing it and receiving it at other cities or locations where it's allowed.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to ask if any members of the commission have any questions or comments. Commissioner Mizrahi.
First of all, I want to say that I'm very happy to see a lot of young people today. And while I do believe that medical marijuana has its benefits in the medical field, especially with seizures, cancer, epilepsy, and other diagnoses, the way the state has approved its distribution is very far from benefiting anyone. While the growers, dispensaries, and doctors are ready to go since the day the law passed, on the local and state level, no one is ready for the impact it will cause. I honestly thought that being medical marijuana will be sold as any antibiotic or any other prescription medicine, with a doctor's prescription and bought in any pharmacy. To my surprise, after learning how it will be sold at the Florida League of Cities Medical Marijuana Symposium, it will be sold in dispensaries called medical marijuana treatment centers that literally look like spas or jewelry stores, located anywhere that the cities will allow. According to the American Society of Addiction Medicine, and I am quoting, in order for physicians to fulfill their professional obligation to patients, and in order for patients to be offered the high standard of medical care that we have come to expect in the United States, cannabis-based product must meet the same exact standards that we apply to other prescription medicines. Members of the American Society of Addiction Medicine are physicians first and experts in addiction medicine with knowledge of a specific risk associated with the substance with high abuse potential. The association must stand strongly behind the standard that any clinical use of a controlled substance must meet high standards to protect the patient and the public. The approval of medical marijuana does not meet this standard. One of the recommendations of the association is that it asserts that cannabis and cannabis-based products and cannabis delivery service should be subject to standards that are applicable to other prescription medications and medical devices, and that these products should not be distributed otherwise provided to patients unless and until such products have received the marketing approval from the Food and Drug Administration. End of quote. Another very interesting report for those who would like to further knowledge on this is an update on its medical use commissioned by the Secretariat and Expert Committee on Drug Dependence, Department of Essential Medicals and Health Products, and the World Health Organization to the Harvard Medical School. If you want to read further on this. Even though I do take into account that 71% of the voters agreed to legalize, I do not think that they were very well educated. For example, one of my biggest surprises was that not only you can be eligible for medical marijuana if you have seizures, epilepsy, or cancer, but also non-malignant chronic pain. That means any kind of pain that any of you can have. I have a knee pain, so that means that I'm eligible for medical marijuana. Having the dispensaries is also opening the door to recreational marijuana, and we are still in baby steps with the initial results from some of the states that have legalized it. For example, there is a significance in traffic in Greece based on marijuana use of 114% since it was legalized in California, as well as hospital visits related to marijuana from 963 visits before its legalization to 2,277 just a year after, only related to marijuana use. Another huge concern is the safety of the city residents and the increase in police surveillance due to the fact that medical marijuana is a cash business only. Currently, marijuana is still an illegal drug on the federal government, so no bank can accept any money from the sale of this or any transactions related to buying and selling. The sales from the legalized marijuana went in 2016 from $7 billion to $53 billion. Is our city ready for this impact? Do we really need to add extra provisions in the budgets for the extra police? I really don't think that our residents would be ready for this impact. The process of dispensing legal marijuana it's in its infancy, and the current protocols are not what we would expect on the City of Excellence. Poorly planned legal dispensaries have a high potential of bringing irreversible collateral and social damage to our community. Just an example, any middle or high school unable to obtain legal marijuana can just buy cards from those who are approved and is looking for extra cash. Maybe I'm very old-fashioned. Maybe I'm very naive. Or maybe it was because I come from Colombia and saw how a country that I lived in became a real war zone by selling marijuana. And it will open the door to harm our children and a real negative impact for the city. Thank you.
Commissioner Shelley.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions for you, David, if you would. What we're doing is we're prohibiting the distribution of it within the city of Aventura, correct?
We are prohibiting, this ordinance would prohibit the location of a dispensary,
Yeah.
which is a place where one may pick up the
Yeah.
medication.
Okay, so what if they go to OGIS and OGIS has a delivery service and they deliver it to somebody in Aventura? Is that allowed?
Yes, that would be allowed. That would not be prohibited.
Okay, so in other words, they can have it delivered to their home, they can use it in their home, but they just can't buy it in a store in Aventura.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
With a little due respect, Commissioner Shelley, it's kind of like the puppy mills. You can go into our neighboring cities and see them, but we don't have them here.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Okay, any other commissioner? Okay, then I'm going to open this item for public comment. And considering our audience today, I would love to have some public comment on this item. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address this? Okay, then I'm going to close the item for public comment. And I'm going to ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Mizrahi,
Yes.
Commissioner Narotsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Weinberg,
Yes.
Mayor Weissman.
Yes,
The motion passes.
thank you. I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn the local planning agency meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Narotsky. Can I have a second? Made by Commissioner Landman. I'm going to declare the local planning agency meeting adjourned.